Hey, so today we are going to identify how to find slope from a table and 2 points. The nice thing is that both table and 2 points are very similar. So we're going to start with 2 points here. So slope from 2 points. So remember when I say 2 points, my example, so I might have 3, 5 and -6, 2. Those are 2 points. Now remember that these 2 points, we have our inputs, which are our x's, and we have our output, which are our y's. Remember, it always goes x, y in our point. So our x always comes first. So our x always comes first, and then our y. Okay. So when we do slope from 2 points, you have been probably taught change of x over change in y, which is totally fine, which is the same thing as if we do y minus y over x minus x. So the important piece is that order matters. So I want you to make a note. Order matters. The reason why order matters is you can't go one way once and then the other way the other. Notice that I have these backwards. Change in y over change in x. Okay, so order matters. We want to make sure that when we do this, we always do it in the correct order. So I always go, so y minus y is going to go on top. So in this case, I'm going to go 5 minus 2. So I went 5 minus 2 over our 3 minus -6. So it's always a minus sign in the middle, and 3 minus -6. Even though it's a -6, it's always a minus sign in the middle. Okay, so I always sometimes put that first. So now 5 minus 2 is going to give us 3. And then 2 negatives make a positive. So then 3 plus 6 gives us 9. Remember, we always simplify our fractions. So order matters. We always simplify. And we're always going to leave as fraction. So in this case, 3 goes into both 3 and 9, so 3 divided by 3 and 9 divided by 3 is going to give us 1 over 3, or 1/3 as our slope. Now remember that m is used to equal slopes. We always want to say m equals is our answer. So let's go ahead and try another one. So if I have, let's go -7, 4 and 8, -2. All right, so first thing I always do, so I'm going to walk you through step by step. So first thing I always do is I label my x's and I label my y's. Okay, then oftentimes I will write y minus y over x minus x as I'm beginning, because it's important. So then I'm going to go m equals, my y's are going to go on top, so I have 4 minus a -2. So remember that minus sign is always there regardless of what the sign is. Over, and then our x's are -7 minus 8. So then we have m equals 4 minus a -2 turns into a positive. 2 negatives make a positive, so 4 plus 2 is 6. And then -7 minus 8, remember that's 7 bad guys, and 8 more bad guys makes -15 bad guys. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and simplify. 3 goes into both of these, so we're going to divide by 3, divide by 3. And we end up with 2 over -5. I always like to bring my negative to the top, so our slope is -2/5. Now keep in mind that you could have kept this one by itself. Either one is correct. Okay, so let's go ahead and do 6, 4 and 3, 4. So once again, I'm going to label my x's. I'm going to label my y's. All right, so I have m equals y minus y over x minus x. So I have m equals 4 minus 4 over 6 minus 3. And 4 minus 4 gives us 0 over 6 minus 3 gives us 3. And 0 on top is 0. Sometimes I like to put a slash through my 0 just so that they know that that's a 0. Okay? So let's go ahead and do another one. So if I have negative 2 comma 3 and negative 2 comma 5, x and x, y and y, m equals y minus y over x minus x. So I have m equals, and then 3 minus 5 over negative 2 minus a negative 2. And we have m equals 3 minus 5 is negative 2 over 2 negatives make a positive. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 is on the bottom, which means we have undefined. Remember, your options are U, or you can also do U and D with a period to abbreviate. Okay. So let's do another one. So if I have negative 5 comma negative 1 and 3 comma negative 8. So x and x, label our y and our y. In this case, I'm just going to actually go into it. So negative 1 minus a negative 8 over negative 5 minus 3. So I end up with 2 negatives make a positive. So negative 1 plus 8 is saying I have 1 bad guy, 8 good guys. So I'm going to have 7 good guys left over. On the bottom, I have negative 5 minus 3, which remember is 5 bad guys and 3 more bad guys, which is going to give me a negative 8. Though that can't be simplified, but I am going to move my negative to the top. I always preferred my negative on the top. You can leave it the other way, it's fine. You're always going to see it with the negative on top or in front. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about finding slope from a table. Okay, so finding slope from a table. So remember, we have an x and y table. Okay, so remember that x represents our input and y represents our output. Okay, so in this case, if I have an x and y table, let's say I have negative 1, negative 3, and I want to go the other way. Negative 3, negative 1, 1, 3, and 5. Let's go 4, 7, 10, 13, and 16. So you can do one of two things. So I'm going to show you the first way you can do this. You can take your change in y. So change in y, 4 to 7 would be plus 3. We have to make sure it's constant. So 7 to 10 would be a plus 3. So plus 3 and plus 3. So our change in y is 3. Remember, y always goes on top. And then our x's, we have negative 3 and negative 1 gives us plus 2. Negative 1 and 1 gives us plus 2. 1 and 3 gives us plus 2. And 3 to 5 gives us plus 2. So our change in x is plus 2. So our slope would be m equals 3 over 2. The other way you could do it is you could pick 2 points. So let's say I picked these 2 points right here. Oops. Circle a little bit better. So I'm going to pick those 2 points. So I'm going to pull them out here, and I have negative 1, 7 and 1, 10. And now it's 2 points just like I had before. So x and x, y and y. So when I do this, m equals y minus y, so 7 minus 10 over negative 1 minus 1. 7 minus 10 is negative 3. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Two negatives divided by each other make a positive. Notice that these both match. Either way you can do it. So if you prefer to do it this way with the table, where you prefer to just find the change in y and change in x, that's totally fine. Or if you prefer to pull out the 2 points, because that seems to be easier for you, you are more than welcome to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and do another table. So I want to keep in mind that it doesn't matter if your table is horizontal or vertical. All right, so here we can do one of 2 ways. So go from 4, so change in y first. So negative 5 to negative 7 is a minus 2. Negative 7, excuse me, to negative 9 is negative 2. So our change in y is negative 2. Then 4 to 10 is a plus 6. 10 to 16 is a plus 6. So our change in x is 6. We need to simplify this, so what goes into 2 and 6 would be 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2. Divide this by 2, so I end up with negative 1/3 as my slope. Remember, you can also do it this way if I chose these first 2 points here. I have, remember, it reads top to bottom, so I would have 4, comma, negative 5 and 10, comma, negative 7. X and x, y and y. So I have m equals negative 5 minus negative 7 over 4 minus 10. 2 negatives make a positive, so negative 5 plus 7 would be 2. 4 minus 6 would be negative 6. And then we need to simplify, so we know that 2 goes into both sides, so divide by 2. So I end up with 1 over negative 3 or negative 1 over 3. Either one is correct. That's how you find slope from a table and from 2 points. If you need to, go back and re-watch. Otherwise, practice.